John Brooks is an unbelievable business writer. He's probably my favorite, and it's too bad so many people haven't had a chance to hear about him and the great work he did.
He loved stories with vivid characters. Venal, bumbling, brilliant, you name it, he loved them.
He was a novelist at heart, and he found a lot of good stories in Wall Street.
Warren Buffett gave me a copy of Business Adventures, feeling like with our dialogue about trying to understand the world of business that I'd enjoyed as much as he had. And in fact, it was phenomenal.
Oh, I knew he'd like it. I mean, that was written for him. It was written for me, too. If you're going to run a company, you should read The Impacted Philosophers. I mean, when you learn how really probably pretty decent people start behaving in bad ways, that's fascinating.
He talks about these people in GE who would wink when they would actually say what the rule book said to do. Now remember, you cannot talk to our competitors about this. Wink, which is essentially saying, go talk to them.
He wrote about it with such cool irony, a sort of bemused bafflement about what is the communication problem at General Electric.
But he makes it come alive in a particular way. He makes it come alive as comedy because he understands that most of the time, if you look closely enough, the motives of the people involved are as short-sighted and self-seeking as all other human motives, and that's the material of comedy.
Ford Motor Company was super successful. They introduced a car called the Edsel, and they spent more money on picking the name and planning the features than had ever been spent on any new American product. And yet, it was an abysmal failure.
Ford counted on selling at least 200,000 Edsels the first year. There may be an aborigine somewhere in a remote rainforest who hasn't yet heard that things failed to turn out that way. I just love that line.
And yet, in a way, the Edsel wasn't so bad. It embodied much of the spirit of its time, or at least of the time when it was designed, early in 1955. It was clumsy, powerful, dowdy, gauche, well-meaning, a de Kooning woman.
When you look at the collection of characters and the dramas that he told, you add them all together, it is an amazing reconstruction of mid-century business life in America that is stunning.
I think you can read this book today and learn a lot.
All the work of Michael Lewis comes directly from Brooks.
I mean, he really was the Michael Lewis of his day.
The rules of running a great business, value creation, are unchanged, and Brooks took some very dramatic examples that are particularly fun and interesting and instructive.